Hi, in this video, I will build a mini app using React JS. The app will display a call list. This one is the name of the course. And after that, if we click in the detail button, the respective course detail will be displayed below. This app will be built based on the React JS, and a lot of core concepts of React JS will be explained. Let's get started. So the first one, we need to download the Node.js. So in here I have Node.js here. Go to this installer link, and after that in here we'll have, so I'm using Windows, right? So if you use Mac it's okay as well. So Windows here, so install it. After download, then we install it. Alright, so just next. Install is a normal. So the next step is to open our Visual Studio Code. Alright, so in here is our Visual Studio Code. And when I open the terminal, so new terminal in here, right? When I call npm, so this one not recognized, right? So or npx, not recognized, so we can restart our Visual Studio and see how. Alright, so when we restore our Visual Studio, and after that we get npm, yes, it's here, and npx, so it's here. Now we use this terminal of Visual Studio Code to install a new React JS project. So in here you can go to your folder that you want to store the React JS is. Alright, so for me it's in the D folder, D drive, and after that cd to the React JS project. Now I can run a command. This is npx, and then create React app with the version, right? So this is optional, but in order to make it consistent, current version is 5.0.1, and after that we name our project. So for example, the project is called my course, and after that I put enter. npx will take care of installing this whole project for us to the folder. And because this is the first time that I run this create React app, that is asked me to install the package as well. So yes, I want to install the package. This is the npx package. This one is to help us to install a new React JS to this folder. It will take us a while. So after about 3-4 minutes, it has done. So actually it's create a folder, a project folder, and after that copy everything into this project folder, right? So let's open this project in the Visual Studio file, and then after that open folder. I will open this my course app. Alright, and it's asked me trust the author. Yes, I trust the author, and after that we start. Now this is the structure of the project. We have basically 1, 2, 3 folders and something else here. This one is the library, all the packages that the npm has already helped us to install. So for example, let's see a lot. One including here React JS, React DOM, right? So all of them are the libraries behind the React. So besides the React JS and the React main library, there's a lot of other libraries as well ready to help us. So basically we never touch this folder, right? Because it is managed by the npm. Now we go to the publish folder. So in here there's a image in here, index, some image. So the main thing is the index. So in here there's a page, right? And also there's a body, and in here we have the ID root in this page. This index will be launched for our application. The next one is the source. So we have FCSS here, apps.js. So this is the main thing for us. We see it later. Index.js. So you see inside this index, right? This one render what? Render the app one. So actually it is this one. This one is the app, and it's rendered to the root element ID. So the root element ID is in this here. This one is the root element ID. So basically it will render whatever app in here to the root element ID. So this is inside here. And because of that, the app.js is our focus at the beginning. Besides that, we also have git ignore package log.json. So this one we never touch. Package.json. So this one include all the packages that will be loaded by the npm library, right? So including the React library, etc. Our focus is the app.js. So in here, right, to make it simpler, let's start with the hello world application, right? So in React, there's always a concept called component, and this one is our root component now. It creates some input, so this one no input, and after that is return HTML div, so only one element, right? And after that, whatever inside. So let's simplify that. So I have this div, and after div in here, and also only one line of code. This one is B and then hello world. With that, we can test our program already. So in order to test the program, we open the terminal again, and after that we write npm start. Alright, after that it will start for us, and you see this one is the hello world, which is this content. So we've done. So what's going on in here? The return here is something called React JSX. Inside here, this one is only one root, right? And after that, this one is actually HTML together with JavaScript. So again, HTML mixing with JavaScript. Whatever JavaScript, we can put the JavaScript in this curly bracket. So let's say that I have a constant, right? The constant name's messy. And after that, inside this, I can use the constant name, right? So whatever the expression of JavaScript, we put it inside this curly bracket. And then now we save. This one run again. This one become hello messy. So actually all the expression of JavaScript we can put inside this curly bracket. So I give you another example. Let's say that we have another constant called user. And this one is an object of 2. So the first name is Cristiano, and the last name is Ronaldo, right? So this is a user, object of user. Besides that, we can also have a function. So this one is a function format name, for example, and the input is the user. Now I can return the user dot first name together with the user dot last name here, right? So in here, either can call the name of the variable, or I can even call the format name with the input user, right? So this is the user input, and it's run, right? So you see hello Cristiano Ronaldo, because here format name the user here, first name Cristiano and last name Ronaldo, and because of that, basically we can put whatever JavaScript inside this curly bracket. So congratulations, we've done with the hello world application. So in the next section, we will create a simple application using React JS. Now, let's say that we want to implement this simple version, listing all the courses and their details. So in here, I have the list of the course. This is the code of the course, the name, the description, course 1, and this one course 2. How we can do it in our React JS. So in here, right? Because here we have user here, so one way is that I can create course 1 with the example just now, right? So we have code, and after that we have names, and after that we have description. So the course 1 is FOBCS, Fundamental of Programming in C#, and FOBCS description, so 3 of them. And the course 2 is the code FOBCS, the names, object-oriented programming, and the description in here. So we know that, right? Because this one can display the JavaScript and HTML, so we just display the 2 cores. To display the course 1, we'll have code in here with the course 1.code. This is the one. Name, course 1.name, and description, course 1.description. The same thing for the course 2. So we have this one, course 2.code, course 2.name, and course 2.description. Alright, so when we save that, then you see this one is updated. And in here, before that, I can put the actives in here, saying that my course lead. Okay, so we're done with this one. So we develop something simpler like this. Now, let me introduce you component of React JS. So in here, the React JS say that everything is actually a component, and one component can contain another component. So in here, this application, this component do everything, right? This component has course 1, course 2 in it, and then do everything for it. One way we can do is that we can break it into smaller components. So let's say that we have a component here, app, we can break the whole chunk in here as one component. So let's create another component. We right click here, new names, and after that I name the new component is the course.js. We have two syntax for the component. The first one, this one is the class component. So in here we can declare a class, right, and then extend the components here. And then this one is constructor, and actually the constructor here will receive the input, the data, and after that we can get the data out and use with the data. So this is called class component. We have another way to declare the component is just a function. So this is the function component, and whatever input, this one is parameter we put here, and from the parameter we can return whatever we want. So in React JS, a component is just something that receives some input, and then after that can render itself as a HTML. So this return one is the one that is want to render. Right, so for now we use the functional component. So let's see. So I want to say that, okay, I want to export default and then function and then course. This one, let's don't care about the inputs first. I receive no input in here, and then I return. So what I need to return, I need to return this portion. All right, so this is my portion. I need to return the code, the name, the description, etc. I need the data in here. I need the course 1 in here. Alright, so if I hard code the application, I can copy the course 1 from here to here. So now I have a course component already. In React JS, a component can contain another component. So it means that instead of this one, right, I can put the whole new component just now, the course component that I just create, this one, into this return, and then this one done, right? So this is the syntax. We start with the course component, the name of the component, this one, and after that, if no input, then we just end it, right? So this one is just the HTML element. When we save it, the output not changed. Until now, we have successfully changed the component here. So let me change the something so that make sure that it's work. So this one I put it new. You see this one is new here. So actually the whole chunks in the first place already replaced with the component course. Now interesting, we know that the data here should not be hard code in here. So this component course receive an input, and the input should be a course object, a course 1 object, right? And after that, it's use the course 1 to return the render itself. This one is called prop in React JS. So in here, I can delete this one. So now I have this course 1 here. However, now if I save this one empty, because when I call and render this course object inside, because this one needs data, so I need to say that okay, this is the data. So this is the syntax, this is the data course 1 from here that you need. This is the real data that I pass to you. So actually this app component call this course component and pass the data course 1 to it. Now I save it and then we run it again. So now our next step is that because we have the course already, actually this one can also be the course, right? So we don't need to repeat the code anymore, but this one can also be the course. So it means that I just replace the whole chunks in here, delete it, replace with the course, and I need to send the data to it. So again, this course, the prop in here is course 1, so I need course 1 in here, and the data itself is actually this object called 2. So when I copy again, you see now it's still working. So again, I can put this one new to show that it's really work. Alright, so because this one, the parameters name is not meaningful anymore. Alright, so I go here to refactor, I change this one to course or my course. Alright, and after that, let's refactor it. So I change this one to my course, so this is the input. And after that, this one I send the data with the my course. At the beginning is course 1 and the second one is course 2. We have created a simple application using the React JS component. So now not only that, React JS also support the hierarchy. So it means that in here I have 2 cores in here. These 2 cores actually trying to list the course. So actually this one I can also put it in one component separately. So let's say that I have another new component, and this component is called list course JS. So this list course.js. So again, port default, and then function, and then list course. So this list course.js, what is the input and what is the return? The return here. So the input here, again we start with empty first. We want to copy everything from this one to the list course, right? So I return 2 things here, course and course in here. So because I use this one, so I need to import the course, because this JS doesn't know where the course come from, so I need to import course from this course for me. And again, this one needs to be start with an HTML element. So I put all of them into a div. So in here, because my course 1 and my course 2 we don't have, so at the beginning let's copy the hard code from it. So I have this 2 data coming to here, right? And after that, now we replace this course 1 and course 2 with the list course, and now list course doesn't have any data yet. So we're done, and then after that let's run. Okay, so we have it. So my course here, I have the list of the course. So let me change something to make sure that it's work. So I uppercase this one. So actually the program works. So you see my course list in here, list course render these 2 course in here inside. So now we don't want to receive the hard code like this, right? We want the list of the course to be received from outside. So it means that this list course is receive a list of the course, and after that is render that list of the course out, right? So the receive is the list of the course. And now not only the receive course 1 and course 2, it should receive a list of the course. Right, so maybe more than 2 course than how, right? So we should receive a course list. Put the input is my course list, and because of that I don't need this 2 anymore, right? So the outside need to put me the my course list, and after that I need to deal with it. So now we're talking about rendering of a component with the list. In order to render a list in React JS, we always use the map function, right? So let's say that we have the list course HTML in here. And finally, when I render outside this one, I just render the whole HTML of the list. So let's say that what we can do with it. This one, we start with the list itself, so my course list, and after that we use the map function. In here we use lambda expression. So my course list, so now for each of the course, what we want to display, what we want to render. So for each of the course I want to render a div, and after that inside this div I want to display a course, and then given the data, so the data in the course is of course what? My course equal to the current my course in here. Okay, so again I can say whatever variable names in here. So this one is course also, okay, and that's it. So basically in this return here, it will put whatever inside here to here. So it means that if I have 2 course, then we'll have div 1 and div 2, so 2 course div in here, right? So this is the list course. So now from the application I need to send these 2 lists to the list course. Now this component need the input list course. So instead of using course 1 and course 2, now I change this one to the list course. So constant, this one is the course list, and this one is what? Is the array. So this is the first element. So this whole chunk is the first element, and then comma here, and then this whole chunk is the second element. Alright, so after done already, then I close the array. So I have the core list in here. When I render the list course here, I need to send the data, and the data here is my core list. So I say my course list equal to the core list. This core list from here. So now I save it, and you see now it's rendered correctly. So congratulations, we've done with our very simple application. So what we do, we have the root component outside application having a data, a course list, right? And from course list, this root data will render the list of the course, right? So this is the course, and then given the data, the core list inside it. So this one we receive the my core list in here. Is use the map to look each of the course inside my core list, and after that creates a render. Each of the render is a component course here, right? And after that finally it put it in the returns in here. So you can see the summarize in here. So the whole chunk in here from here to here is actually everything is application. And after that the app has my list course, the act2, right? Just now we see. And after that, the list course, the whole list course. So this is the whole list course, orange one. And after that, the whole list course, it has 2 courses. So for each of the course, this is the green color here, 1 and 2. So in order to render correctly, the children component data is usually sent. And this one in React JS, this one is called prop or property. So in here, list course, we have property my course list in here, and in the course we have properties my course in here. It has the data in order to render itself. So next, instead of displaying the whole detail, we want to display only the list of the course name, right? So this is the name, foundation of programming in C# and object-oriented programming. Then every time a course is clicked, this detail is clicked, then its detail will display in another section of the page. How can we implement it? This is the plan. So we need to update the component course. So this one, just now we display 1, 2, 3. So now we only display 1, the names, and together with the button. So now when the button click, then what happened? When the button click in here, we need to keep a variable to say that, oh, is it this course to display the retail, or is it this course to display the detail? So actually we need the detail ID to keep it so that we can know where it's to display. Whatever we click, the display ID will be updated, and when the display ID updated, then we retrieve the respective course object, and after that we can display the whole course in the page. So let's do the implementation. Alright, so the first one, update the course, will be delete the others, and after that I just display the name. Alright, so basically we've done. So we have 2 names, and actually we also display the button detail. So in here I have the button here, and this one is the detail. So this is the button detail, and I don't want this too far, right? So just put them together. Okay, so we're done in here. Now we need to keep the ID to show the detail. So we call it the detail ID. What is the component that's most suitable to keep it? So we have 3 components. The first one is the course. Should we keep the details in here? The detail IDs in here? So no, because we don't keep the list of the course, right? So we go to the second one, the list course. This course has the list of the course, so this is the suitable place to keep the detail ID. So this, we have the course list in here, and now we have the detail IDs, which course to display, right? And after that we can display the detail of the course later inside this list course as well. So this is the good play. So previously we used the property to store my list course, so later I can call the detail IDs in here. So at the beginning detail ID is nothing. After that I update the detail ID. This is not allowed in React JS because properties should never be changed. So this detail ID should never be a property. And because of that, we need to use this detail IDs as another way. And this is the state. For the state here, we say unlike property not supposed to change, but state supposed to change, right? So this is the implementation. In order to use the state, so the first one, we need to say that we use this function, and the function called useState. When I enter, then this one Visual Studio Code do the import for me, import the state for me. So in it useState, we need to define what is the original value for this state. And after that, this state will return me an array, and I can call whatever I want. So I see detail ID state return me an array of 2 elements. So the first element is what is the state variable name, and the second element is what is the function name that when it's called, then the state will be updated. So this is the function name detail ID equal to this detail state 1, right? So this is the second element. And because the syntax is a bit funny, so there's a better syntax called Array Destructuring, right? So in here, either using 2, so the Array Destructuring say that, okay, I can use curly bracket and then put 2 variable into the same 1 line of code. So this is the detail ID and this is the update ID. So again, this is called Array Destructuring. At the beginning, this detail ID is empty or no. Now, whatever the user click detail in here, the detail ID need to be updated. And we know that in order to update the detail ID, we just call this update detail ID given the new value. How we can do that? So the first thing, we need to listen to this button, and after that, calling the event. We come to something called handler function. So in React JS, right, for an event handling, for example, clicking, we can pass a function to handle it. So let's say that in here we have the course here, right? There's a button here. We can declare an event. So for example, this one is on click, right? So this one on click, right? And you see that this on click is different from the JavaScript on click because this one is uppercase. And inside this on click, add a function name to handle the click. So for example, I can name whatever I want. I say that, oh, this one handle the course click. Okay, and after that, I will provide the function. This is function handle the course click. React JS will give us an input. This is called event. So in here, I will just display the event and see what the event can help us. So when I click on the button detail, then this handle course click will be called given the event object. So in here, I just console log the object and see how. So in here, I right click again here so that I can show the console. Right, so now let's clear everything. So console here. So if I click detail, you see this console log.e. So this log.e is in here. And you see there's a lot of information that we can use, right? So alternative key, etc. It's a lot of things, and a lot of time the key thing is the target in here, and the target is the button itself. So we can use the values in here and whatever, right? So this one is another topic. So now it means that I can receive this one already. Now I need to send the IDs of this course, the current course. For example, click on here. I need to send the ID of this course, which is the first ID. So in the handle function in here, if we want to add another parameter, so which is the ID, right, of the course. So instead of passing the function name, I need to pass a function called instead. So instead of on click function name, so I say, okay, I can call the function as well. So the on click here is the input. Here is actually a function given an event, and then whatever I want to handle in here with the event. So in here I say that handle the on click with the ID of this course, okay. And in order to test it, then I can, this is ID, right? So I console click the course ID, okay, and that's it. So when I test this list course, save, and then after that test, right, refresh this one, we see that there's a warning in here, and this warning says each child in the list should have a unit key properties. And because what? Because React JS need this key to optimize its function. So because of that, here we create child, right? Course is the child of the list course, and actually we render a list of the child, and because of that, for each of the child there should have a unit key property. So in here I put the key property. This one should be distinguished and should belong to the child itself. So I look at the course here. The course here, this one is the value, right? So this one the code name description. So one thing, we can use the code in here for the key, but a better way is to put another property called keys as well. So this one directly, right? So this one also the key number 1 and the key number 2, and with that I can use the key. And this one is the course.id, the one that we just created. Now I save it, and then alright, sorry, this one is actually course.id. So because of that, this one should be ID. So when I refresh it, you see there's no complaint in here. Now we have the ID of the click button here, right? So 1 and 2, 1 and 2. However, we want to send this ID to this list course detail ID, right? If I can update the detail ID in here, then I can retrieve the respective course from my course list, and after that I can render over here the detail of the selected detail ID. How can I do that? In React, right, the key thing is that parent can ask child to update parent state by passing function to the child. This course want to ask the course to update detail ID state, and because of that it need to send the function to the child. So let's implement it. It means that in course here, the handle clicks here, instead of inside this course, it will be sent from the parent, because the parent will send the function, right? So this function will send to the child. So actually this one handle course clicks actually from the parent one. So by this, right, I can move this function and then send to this area. And now when this function is called, then the ID of the list course, this one is actually inside the list course already. And because of that, when I create a course here, I need data. I need my course data, and also I need the handle course click function. And because of that, this one, my course equal to course, and actually handle course clicks equal to this function, handle course click. Now if I click the detail, the course in here, but actually it's inside the list course. See, not the course anymore. And because of that, now we can update the detail already. How to update the detail? So you remember the state, right? When we call the use state, there are two parameters. The first one is the state variable, and the second one is the function that updates the state. In here, we want to update the state, so we call its function to update the state. I call it update detail ID with the new ID. Whatever the state update, then it will be re-rendered. So in here, I received the new ID already. I will update this. I will re-render this one. And now the re-render will include two portions. The first one is the list course HTML is normal, and the second portion is the detail course. So here, let's say that I get another function here in order to get the detail course HTML, right? And this one, now I have this one, right? And after that, when I get this, then I will put it after the detail course. I can return this one, right? A new one, the JSX, and this is the detail course. So we'll have the detail course in here. So we're done. So now, how we want to implement this detail course in here? This detail course is the HTML of the selected inside the detail course. So it means that at the beginning, I need to get the course object from the detail ID. Right, so this is the one. And the second one is after getting the detail object already, then I return the object rendering. So let's go. How can I get the object from the detail course? So in JavaScript, right, a common way to retrieve an object given its IDs is using the find function, right? So we say that, okay, this is the detail course. I need to get the object from the list, right? So we start with my course list. I get the find function. Inside it, for each of the one I need to return, so for each of the course inside it, the one that I want to return is the one that having the ID equal to the detail ID. Alright, so you see here I find inside all the course list, any course having the IDs the same as the detail ID, and if yes, I need to render it, otherwise I don't. If detail course is there, it's not null, then I render it. Right, so render is so I render the whole course. Right, so I return the same thing. I return the same thing as normal. So this is multiple lines, so I need to put the one in. So now I want to display the detail of the course, and after that, this is the information. So we'll have the course code. So we'll have this detail course dot code. We'll have name. We'll have detail course.name, description, detail course.description. Right, so I return this one, right, detail course, and then I just show that the course, the name, and the description. Otherwise, so this one I just return nothing. Right, so nothing, we can put this one as well. Let's run our program. So if I click detail, there's something wrong. Okay, it's in here. Sorry, the array destructuring we need to declare as array syntax. So this bracket, not the curly bracket. Run it again to that refresh, and now detail. So you see, detail, this one is new. At the beginning, the detail course is, we cannot find the detail course, right, for each of them, because the detail IDs is empty. And because of that, when the program try to get the detail course HTML, then this one is empty. There's nothing, because we cannot find any course with the ID empty inside. And because of that, this one no. Because this one no, then this does not display anything. Does not display anything, so this one is empty. So that's the beginning here. So now if I click detail in here, so this one will be executed. The course ID is 2. Yes, so we update the detail ID. Whenever we update detail ID, then the component will automatically re-render. So we try to render here. Try to get the list HTML. This is list HTML. Same thing. Display the list in here. And it will try to list the get detail course HTML. Get detail course. So it try to get detail course object. We'll have the course ID 2 already. It try to get the course ID 2. Yes, there's one. Alright, one object. This is the one, ID 2. And because of that, it's display. So this one is not null to display. And here it display course detail course. Course is OOP. Course, if I change this one to not new anymore, then we run it again, you see there's no new. So this is how the program worked. Congratulations, we've done creating a simple application that at the beginning we show only the names, and after that, if we click the button, then we show the details as well. In order to implement it, we use the component hierarchy. The second one is we need to send the prop to the component, right? So course also the prop. The next one is that we use the state in order to keep the change in path of the list course. So the state here is the detail ID. The next one is that we need to handle the click of the event. So in order to get the link, we go to the course here, we say on click, and we want to execute a function. JS give me the event end object. So this is the function that I want to execute. In order to send the data from this course to this course, right, we need to send from this course to its children the function itself. So it's here, I send the function handle click to the children. So this is the children. When the children have some data, it's called handle click with the parameter. Right, so this is the parameter here is the ID. With the ID, then the parents, which is this course, can catch the ID and then re-render, update the state and re-render the whole page. This is how React JS works. So congratulations, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, in this list course, for the detailed course, we can refactor to push this detailed course into a separate component as well. So this one, I leave it to you.